Good morning, folks. Got the Schapenmelk. I think that's how you say it. My nose is itching already this morning. Anyhow, this is how it looks here in the mug. Currier knives. And I put the label underneath there, so hopefully I won't forget what's in this particular mug. Got it whipped up here. This has a boar knot in it. This is the one I was referring to. That's just got a teeny tiny knot compared to the 26 millimeter Heritage Collection Ever Ready brush I was using on Sunday. Today's Monday, and I've got plenty whipped up. This particular knot works out wonderful in this mug. Gives you plenty of room to whip it up. I got something in my eye this morning, but it was takes no time to whip it up with a knot like this. Quite fun. Thought I would go ahead and break this out. I've had this one for a moment, waiting for the right moment to use this. This is a Master Aftershave. I'm going to put it back just a little ways. It's a Smokey Oud, and this is a 15-ounce container. It's pretty good size. I got started on these aftershaves on the 3-ounce size, a lot smaller, easier to store, and this runs about this size here. I get these through Atlanta Barber, and it's like what, $1.95 or something like that. Inexpensive when I was getting those, and I don't recall right offhand. I'll have it down below. I'm wanting to say $8.95, something like that. It's not really expensive, so but this scent's pretty nice. Already put a hot towel to the face this morning, and already put Proraso Preshave, get turned right, on this morning. Got the usual suspects over here in that I've got Crown King alum block here, complete with rubber band, and still using the Humphreys witch hazel. This one here, citrus scented. Shaver of the day. Let's see if I get this right. This one here is a Grand Slam. I don't know if this is a gold dollar by another name or not. It's got the nice wooden scales here with a metal spacer there. It's a pretty good looking shaver. I'm going to give it a try this morning. And before I forget, also using the Shaven Sailor beard oil. I'll use this off camera. Go ahead and get my face wet here and put some lather on. This is a Schapenmelk. I think that's how you say it. Not an easy one for me to pronounce, but it whips up pretty creamy. The real test is a shavette or a straight razor shave. We'll see if I got the lather whipped up. It's moist. It's not drippy, but it is wet. It is moist. Does whip up pretty creamy. This particular brush, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, got this in an antique store. It's a Rubberset, if I didn't mention that. And thought it was a pretty unique brush. Wasn't too sure whether I was just going to keep it and not use it just to have it because it was a Rubberset. Not like I have very many of the. I think this might be the only Rubberset I got. I may have one more that I've got hiding away that one of these days I'll get around to doing something with it in the way of restoring it. But this is the knot that was in it, so I don't know if it's original, if it's been replaced. Did a great job if they replaced it. Already stropped this straight shaver this morning. These scales are pretty nice. Go ahead and get started here. See how, make sure I didn't roll the edge when I was dropping it. Weather's been pretty nice here in Oklahoma. Spent a good part of my time working in the backyard yesterday. It's the reason why my nose is giving me fits today. Spent quite a bit of time back there. Getting there, I guess you might say, things partied up a little bit for the summer. Getting taking care of things that happened over the winter. Just little things here and there, just to make the summer a little bit easier. Stuff I'd planned on doing. It's going pretty smooth. Can't complain too much about it. Yes, I'm pretty comfortable with this particular shaver here. The edge on it's pretty nice. If I remember right, I got this by the way of AliExpress and sent it to Frank to put the edge on it. If you look on AliExpress, or there's another website I found here recently, and I'll try to remember to look it up and get that name and mention it, that I found, I guess you might say, through my travels. Actually, I was looking for gold dollars just to see what the going price was and then compare it. If you look at Strike Gold Shave, Frank's website, when it comes to gold dollars, by the time you actually buy one and get an edge put on it from somebody, if you're like me and don't have any stones and still not real sure about how to put an edge on a straight razor, much less now Stephen Davison did show in one of his videos about the geometry and how to check it and what all that means. In other words, that stabilizer bar on the shoulder, on the back towards the heel, sometimes can throw the geometry of the razor off. You're checking to make sure it's flat and it's not twisted or anything quite like that. But in other words, let Frank do it. By the time you do everything and done and over with, you're better off just to go ahead and get one from Frank. That's the way I was looking at it. Because even if you buy your straight razor for $10, by the time you pay to have it, sent, by the time you pay Frank to have an edge put on it, you've already spent more than what Frank charges for it. So to me, it's just better just to get your gold dollar from Frank or somebody like that. Frank is just the one I trust. I like his edges. Does have a little bit of feedback, makes it pretty nice. Feedback is pretty cool. I've been thinking, contemplating. I hear wedges, I guess you might say, are the easiest to put an edge on, and some of the 7/8 style straight razors are near wedge. There might be like a quarter hollow, and do wonder sometimes, how those shave. Especially compared to a one that's like 3/4 hollow or a full hollow, because those kind of shavers, they do get some feedback, sometimes referred to as singing. This is very easy to use. You can tell there's plenty of slickness, at least for me. It works fine. This is pretty good soap. I don't mind it. I know maybe it might not be everybody's, how can you say, soap that they may want to use, but for me it works well. It went pretty smooth. The only part I did notice right after I did it, not having anything to do with the soap, is on my against the grain pass over here on this side. I started to focus more on the heel and got a little careless, and I didn't cut myself, but I did hit the bottom of my ear there, my earlobe. And it's something I'll have to pay closer attention to next time. Got myself lucky. Yeah, that could have been a bad thing. Yeah, if that would have been that gold dollar W58 or 59, I think it is, the one with the points on it, it might have been a different story on that earlobe. I don't know that I've been bleeding, but it definitely might have stung just a little bit going by there like that. Getting better with the straight razor in that, for instance, I only got just a little bit of stinging right there. Almost made it through the whole thing without having any. This edge is pretty good. As a matter of fact, this particular shaver, I looked online to see if I could find, I found a website on AliExpress, but they didn't seem to have any in stock. I was kind of left with the impression that maybe they're not going to carry it anymore. So these particular shavers might be hard to come by, but I did find some gold dollars that have this kind of scale, and picked up a couple of those. Back when the W59 came out, the gold dollars had, they came out with some of the scales similar to that one there, and at the time I didn't get any. And of course now I was kind of wishing I had of. So I went ahead and I found some, so I got a couple ordered. We'll see if they actually make it. It's been interesting with the virus, how that's affects shipping. Sometimes I don't know whether that has anything to do with why things are moving like they are. Smokey Oud, this is pretty good stuff. I used some yesterday right after I got out of the shower after working in the backyard, and no, this aftershave isn't going to last like, it's not going to last like Phoenix Artisan accoutrements, but it is what it is. It's not near that price range either, but for the moment it does smell good. Really nice scent. I like oud, and with that smoky twist to it, kind of fits in my wheelhouse for my nose. Certain things my nose pick up better than others, and smoke happens to be one of them, evidently. Tobacco scents. Pretty good stuff. This is a Master Smokey Oud. Like I said, this is the only size I could find it in, is the larger container, because trust me, you can get 6, 8 of these smaller ones, these 3-ounce ones, and they don't take up very much room at all. $1.95, budget friendly. Awesome. That was pretty good. Face good, nice and smooth. No nicks, cuts, or anything of the sort. Great way to start out the Monday. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.